Don't look at the economic minute. All right, we got the propaganda. So mentioning total war. Oh, who is the German general who coined the term total war? Yeah, Ludendorff coined the term. And basically, long-term goal, break the morale of the enemy. And remember, this all fits into one basic point. Wars are political. It's a political decision to go to war. So I said there are two new strategic goals. First off, they want to knock out the enemy's what? Yeah, industry, factories, fuel, oil. And secondly, what? Yeah, terrorize them, hoping that they change the government. So basically, knock out their factories and then hope they revolt, or at least do something to get rid of the current leader so they end the war. So they want to make people so terrorized, angry that their government can't protect them, that they end the war. Does it work? Got to be something else go on, but everybody was so desperate they tried, and they tried to this day. So how do they get? We got right here, right? Didn't we just write down propaganda? So propaganda, just to review, it's whatever kind of action to promote a particular point of view. We're going to use government here, but it's propaganda is advertising. But they want to promote a point of view. They want you to think something after you get after you see propaganda. And this is going to justify what they're going to do in the war. Justify how long it is. Justify your sacrifice. And propaganda is not necessarily a lot. It's not necessarily all like, it's propaganda, therefore it's not true. No. It could be all true. It could be partially true. There's elements of truth always in propaganda. It won't work unless there's elements of truth. But it's always misleading and therefore dishonest, because they don't want you to know the full answer or the full story. They want to manipulate you to think something. And I should add, you are inundated with propaganda all the time. All the time. And what's the best kind of propaganda? Say it again. Yeah, when you don't. That's the best time when you don't know. And that's all the time. And I wish I had an easy answer for you to decipher propaganda. There isn't one. There is not like a magic trick you can do. Just you have to know as much as you can. And also be very skeptical of what you see. You have to be. Nothing wrong with being skeptical. So, one of the big elements, promote nationalism. Lots of flag waving, rally to the flag, which has some effectiveness, but it only goes so far. And then you got to make them terrified. Terrified of the enemy. Fear. Thus bayonet them when they're down. Because they're going to jump up and stab you in the back as you go by. You can't have things like the Christmas truce. You got to have hate. So, dehumanize them. Make them into something else. That's what them, us, good guys. Freedom loving, for democracy, whatever it might be, and then the others. And so that's why some of these things, of course, they have that kind of monster in that cartoon that's kind of humorous in what we just saw. It wasn't that they thought they were monsters. It just continually say it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it till it sticks in your head. So here, no, that's not what the Kaiser looked like. We all know that. But applying their little, he's working with the devil, babies killed, children killed, women killed, so non-combatants. Made up numbers. This was from a political cartoon from Collier's magazine. They literally call it the patriotic sense, but it's nationalism. But hate the enemy. There is this inhuman beast. So this is from Bob, the Kaiser, and then here's a very clever thing. Who are you for? That fiend or America? You're either with us or you're a traitor. And so, here's a couple examples of total or propaganda. I like these two a lot. They really show, well, first off, let's look at this one. This is 1918. This is an American bit of propaganda. And, okay, you got it. It's not subtle, is it? Not subtle. We know what's going to happen here. And yes, that happened. But got that. And then I love the little bits. First off, destroy this mad group. You see the club? The so-called German civilization, we know what that is. But then, what water? This is water. What water is that? What is it? The Atlantic. It's the Atlantic Ocean. If we don't stop it, it'll be here. Look at Europe. It's a wasteland. It's very clever, isn't it? Just reinforce, reinforce. Monster, what happens if they keep going? The world's uncertain. That was actually a real popular thing, just a question mark, meaning we don't know the future. Today, not used as much. So, thinking about today's countries, what country does that represent? What country is that closer for? Look at the globe. You notice something about the globe? Where? Good guess. You know, Russia's kind of tilted to the top. Think about it, most of the fighting's here. What country? Australia. If it was for, let's say, Germany or France, or, well, it would be Germany because it's closer, but if it was France or Britain, it would focus on Europe. If it's for the United States, it would have the Atlantic. Here, they have the globe tilted so you can see Australia. I just thought that was kind of, oh yeah, Australia, remember they're a British colony, then self-governing called a dominion like Canada. So here's two more. First off, help crush the menace of the seas, another American one. And what weapon does this represent? The bloody arm, the bloody knife. Up from the seas, what is it? Yeah, submarines, people said. And I like this one. Tell that to the Marines. The paper says, Huns kill women and children. And what's he going to do? Join the Marines and fight. So we have nationalism, but also has hate the enemy. Hate the enemy. I like that. That artist is really popular, one of World War I. Two German ones, same kind of deal. And you, what are you doing during the war? And then this one, since I've seen more World War II propaganda, I would almost think that's World War II. But remember I told you about that whole fake German Aryan nationalism they created back in the 1880s? And this is, are you going to defend the family? They're a threat. Germany's a threat. Germans are a threat. That racial superiority that Germans tried to portray back in the 1880s. Then, of course, the Nazis would adopt after the war. So, in February, there was a revolution in Russia. The Tsar was overthrown. Is it the victory for Germany? Did Germany win? Germany would have loved a revolution, the Tsar overthrown. And that terrified everybody. Because total war, you have this concept that both sides are trying to do whatever they can to attack the enemy's home front. Did they work? Or did it work in Germany or in Russia? Did the German strategy to make Russia suffer lead to soldiers refusing to fight for the Tsar? Now, this is not the same as the October Revolution. This is the first of two revolutions. But this freaked everybody out. This freaked the Allies, and the US was soon into the war. Germany's going to try to do this to us. We got to do it to them first. They're going to undermine our population. And that leads to a very important concept. And one of the reasons why total war is such a big deal. What does winning look like? What does losing look like? If you're not winning a victory on the battlefield, stalemate, blood, wars on the battlefield, how do you know you're winning? Is it a revolution? Is it people complaining about the government? Is it people not showing up to work? What about people complaining for high prices? There's always inflation. Inflation during a war. Always inflation. What does winning or losing look like? More importantly, what does losing look like? when the US entered the war is Germany trying to undermine us. So, a couple things about this. Most of the Western allies had some kind of democratic republic, not full ones. Remember, the United States, over half the population could. Women could not vote, and American Indians could not vote, blacks couldn't, because of various laws. France, men could vote, but women couldn't vote. Europe, or I'm sorry, England, most poor men still couldn't vote. So they had kind of a democratic republic, but not completely. But still, in a democratic republic, you have voters electing representatives, and war is politics. War was politics, is politics, it's a political action. So, what if there's dissent over the war? Can this happen in a democracy? Democracies, there's a choice. There's going to be dissent. If people are upset with the government, is that just normal political speech? Is that free speech? Or is it pro-enemy, aka treason? If people are complaining about high prices, will that help the enemy? Or is that just people upset with the political decision to go to war? If people are upset with the draft, is that people just upset with the draft, which is a political decision in a free society? There can be dissent, or is the enemy winning? Heck, is any complaint? And this goes back to, remember the Alien and Sedition Acts way back during the Quasi-War. Do you remember that term, Alien and Sedition Acts? During the Quasi-War, where the United States banned criticism of the government because it helped the war effort. That's how we're fighting the French. But here are two political posters. One's French, one's American. One's a cartoon, one's a poster. So the first one, that one right here. So it's a French soldier, horribly mutilated, coming back from the front. To the front, just chaos. Mutilated by the war. And he's going up to somebody, and this kind of represents racial. If you had government contracts, you'd be charging bucks. They were just so desperate for stuff. So he's getting rich off the war. And you see what he's doing? He's doing these. You're doing fine. Go back and get him. You're doing fine. Keep the war going. So that is a political cartoon against the war. Here is one from Columbus, Ohio. So when the United States entered the war and nobody volunteered, they started the draft. All young men had to draft, had to register, which you still do. You will have to register when you turn 18 now. So, and it's telling people to refuse. While people get rich, don't go. Columbus, Ohio, which is a hotbed of radical, facetious. And actually, go fight this war. When I first saw this, I thought that's in the wrong spot. That looks more like Vietnam. No, that's World War I. Is this free speech? Or is Germany winning? Because if people oppose the draft, might that help the German war? Potentially. How do you know you're winning? So, the first thing every country does in total war is demand social union. They demand everybody to rally together for the war effort. Another way to look at it was conformity. The idea being, if you're not all with us together, there's something wrong with you. And so that's parades, marches, everything that trying to come together all as one. Stepping together, nobody out, or no other deviation allowed. It's a social unity. And what about those who don't unify? This is a big question that every democratic republic, but it's not just them, every government has. Can you allow free speech? And what does virtually every country in war decide about free speech? No. What law did the US pass to ban free speech? We also passed the Sedition Act. Every country banned freedom of speech. Heck, the US did during the Civil War. Lincoln did it alone without congressional approval, violating the Constitution, censored the press, and denied habeas corpus. Why? Do people who dissent? Congress went back after the fact. The US did. We did the Alien Sedition Act. Some kind of banning of free speech. Every nation has free speech. Every single one. After the war, an Italian veteran who actually began the war as a socialist newspaper editor came out of the war as an intensely nationalistic fighter who thought the reason Italy did so bad is we weren't unified. Came up with a term for a new state. Copying. Ludendorff came up with this term called totalitarianism. Total war, totalitarian. Anybody know the guy? Benito Mussolini. Benito Mussolini. And he thought he figured out the way to rally the population. How do you do that? To rally them to one cause, to make the country as strong as possible, to have full unity, and to say no dissent allowed because it makes the state weak. Totalitarianism. So what's the first thing that somebody would do if they wanted to create a totalitarian dictatorship? By the way, don't do that. I guess if you do, remember. No, don't do that. What's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do if you want to create a totalitarian dictatorship? Say it again. If you do that too soon, then people will be really upset. You got to do something first, but you're on the exact right track. Yeah. Great independent. Go find something like a war. Find something like a war. Then you can start rooting out the enemy, use propaganda. Then you ban free speech. If you ban free speech too fast, people will be upset. Especially in a place that like thinks they're afraid. How dare you? But if you make everybody afraid and convince them that, oh, if you speak out, you're helping the enemy. Heck, you don't even really need to arrest you. They get people so scared, you're just getting public love from people, attacking their homes, burning down their stores, killing their dogs because of German ordinance. Yeah, thousands. That's how you do it. I mean, if you issue my total war, get people terrified, then you can ban free speech. Why do you think Putin invaded Ukraine? Losing popularity, the Russian economy is in shambles. The vast majority of Russians are dirt poor. He wants to maintain balance, maintain power, and sitting here at the end, and it's the last big power grab. They have total condition of total war notice. And anybody who speaks out against war in Russia now is brutally attacked by just regular people. So total war is going to change then what people are going to do on the battlefield. But once you decide that you got to do it, because they're going to do it to you, what is now justified? What is now almost allowed? And so the first thing we'll get to, I'm going to get to right before the bell rings, is poison gas. Before World War I, the thought was poison gas, which had been, they're already toying with the new chemical industries, coming with all kinds of stuff. Poison gas, chlorine gas would be used. Oh, we got one more thing right. I said poison gas, but we're not quite done. You guys, I'll wait for everyone to put their stuff back out of it. Oh wait, we only got 1 minute. Everybody, write down ostriches. Oh, one more thing. See this picture right here? German soldier with a gas mask. This one really got me. Anybody know what movie character would be based upon a German World War I soldier and a gas mask? Maybe a villain. Huh? World War II. You don't know? Have you heard of Darth Vader? Oh. All right, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I'm also. All right, just come here at the beginning of the class off and then we'll